Hi friends, myself Dr. Umadevi, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce CA, Kamadin Arts and Science College, Satyamangalam. In this video, we are discuss about cost terminology. First, we discuss about the meaning of cost. Cost means the amount of expenditure incurred on a particular thing. Costing. Next, we discuss about the meaning of costing. Costing means the process of ascertainment of cost, that is called as costing. Next, we see the meaning of cost accounting, the application of cost control methods and the ascertainment of profitability of activities carried out or planned. So that is called as cost accounting. Next, we see about meaning of cost accounting. Cost accounting is concerned with recording, classifying, and summarizing the cost of determination of cost of product or services, planning, controlling, and reducing such of cost, and furnishing the information to the management for decision making. So the cost accounting is nothing but costing plus cost reporting plus cost control is called as costing. Next, we see about objective to ascertain of the cost per unit of different product that business concern manufactures. So the next objective is to correctly analyze the cost of both the process and the operations. So next one, disclose the sources of wastages of material, time expenses are in the use of equipment and the preparation of reports which may be necessary to control such wastages. So next objective, provide request data and help in fixing the price of the product manufactured or services rendered. Next one, determining of profitability of each product and help the management in the maximization of these profits. So next objectives, exercise effective control of stock of raw material, work in progress, consumable stores and finished goods as to minimizing the capital investment in them. So next one, present and interpret the data for management planning, decision making and control. Next one, helps in the preparation of budget and implementation of budgetary control. Next, aid to management in the formulation and implementation of incentive bonus plan of the basis of productivity and cost saving. Next objective, organization of cost reduction programs with the help of different departmental managers. So next, to provide specialized services for cost audit in order to prevent the errors and frauds. So next one, to facilitate the prompt and reliable information to the management. So last objectives, determination of cost per profit or loss by linking the revenues of the cost of the product or services by selling which the revenues has been arisen. So the main objectives of costing is to determine the cost of the product and also to analyze the cost of costing profit or losses, how to maximizing their cost, how to minimizing their wastages. So these are all the main objectives of the cost accounting. Next, we see the elements of cost. So the elements of cost, there are three heads. First one is on material, second one is on labor, third one is on expenses. So these are all the main elements of costing. Again, the material can be classified into two categories: direct material, indirect material. Labor can be classified into two: direct labor, indirect labor. Expenses can be classified into two: direct expenses, indirect expenses. Material, labor, expenses are the major elements of the cost that can be classified into direct and indirect. Next, we see about the meaning of material. Material is nothing but the substance from which the finished product is made in known as a material. The material can be classified into two categories: direct material, indirect material. So direct material means it is one which can be directly or easily identified in the product. So that is called as direct material. Example, timber in furniture, cloth in dress, etc. So direct material is nothing but the material is directly involved to the production process, that is called as direct material. So next, indirect material. one which cannot be easily identified in the product, that is called as indirect material. Example, lubricant, printing and stationery, packing material, etc. That will be help to the production process, but it is not an direct material. It is not identified with the product. So that is called as indirect material. So next we see about the labor. Labor is a human effort, that's a human being efforts required to convert the material into finished product is called as labor. The labor class can be classified into two categories: direct labor, indirect labor. So direct labor means it is one which can be conveniently identified or attributed wholly to a particular job, product or process. So that is called as direct labor. Example, wages paid to carpenter, fees paid to tailors, etc. So direct labor means the labor is directly involved to the production process. That labor, that human being effort is called as direct labor. So next we see about the indirect labor. Indirect labor means it is one which cannot be conveniently identified or attributed wholly to a particular job or a product or process. So there is a labor that are indirectly involved to the production process. That person is called as an indirect labor. Example, gatekeeper salary, account salary, sweepers, etc. So next we see about other expenses. So other expenses is that is called as other than the material and labor. That expenses including for the production process is called as other expenses. Other expenses can be classified into direct expenses, indirect expenses. Direct expenses means those expenses which can be directly allotted to a particular job or process or product. So example, excise duty, royalty, special care charges, etc. Indirect expenses, those expenses which cannot be directly allocated to a particular job or process or a product. Example, factory rent, advertising, home expenses, etc. So next we see about the methods of costing. So methods of costing, there are different methods. So they can be classified into followings. First one, job costing. Second one, contract costing. Third one, batch costing. Fourth one, process costing. Fifth one, unit costing. Sixth one, operating costing. Next one, multiple costing. Next, uniform costing. Last one, departmental costing. We see a detailed manner. First one, job costing. Job costing is nothing but it refers to a system of costing in which costs are ascertained in terms of specific job or orders which cannot be comparable with each other. Example, printing process, automobile repair shops, house building, engine and machine constructions. So these are the example for job costing. So next we see about the contract costing. The term contract costing used in only for costing methods adopted where the large scale contract or different sites are carried out in the building construction. So the contract costing is applicable only for the construction of building. Next one, batch costing. This method also type of job costing. A batch costing similar to the product is regarded on the job on the cost of is complete the batch in the ascertainment. So next one, process costing, whether the product passes through the different stages or process, the output of one product being input of the subsequent process. It is frequently desired to ascertain the cost of each stage or process of production. So that is known as process costing. So next we see about the unit costing. Unit or single output, single costing. The method is used to whether the simple the product or services rendered to the continuous manufacturing services. The cost of the whole production cycle ascertained the process or services. The process and the cost per unit is ascertained by dividing into totally cost of number of units produced.